Hi guys, this is Mrs. Hurley. I'm out at an in-service today, so I wanted to show you the directions for what we should be doing. I know that the last time that we met was a little while ago because we went out for snow and then we had spring break, so we might have forgotten what it is that we were working on, so we're just going to go over a few reminders. Last time you were here, we went into our Google Classroom and we saw that we had an assignment under Library Biography Superhero that you were pulling up. And you were answering some questions. So you'll notice on the screen I have the directions for what it is that you're supposed to do today. So step 1 says that you were going to go and find either in Google Classroom or it's already in your Google Drive. If you've been in it before, you could look it up under recent. You would go in and find your graphic organizer that you've been working on. The most important thing that we need to make sure we already have done, or it's the first thing we need to get to if we haven't, is that we need to look at number 2. You need to make sure you have brainstormed a few questions for number 6. Remember, that was where after you've picked your person, you were supposed to go in and come up with a few questions, things that you are curious about your person. If you have not done that already, then that is one of the first things you want to make sure you do in the library here today. And I am going to have Miss Austin come around with a checklist, and she is going to come around and look to make sure that you have those brainstorm questions, and she'll give you a check mark for doing that. We want to make sure that's done, okay? So let me take a second, and I'm going to log in to Google Classroom just to remind you what it looks like. So my classroom is already logged in because this is my computer. And then depending on which class you're in, you obviously will pull up your own Google Classroom, but I am just going to show you from Ms. Hamilton's class. If you scroll down, so it's not this one. It's not the question, which positive person will you be researching? It's below that, right here, Library Biography Superhero. Okay, yours would then pop up. So I'm just going to pull one up to look at. And remember that one of the first things you need to do is to go to question 6 right here. What else do you want to know about your person? So this is where you're putting your brainstorm questions. Okay, before we move on and do anything else, this is where you need to put them, and Miss Austin is going to come around and check to make sure that you've done that. Okay, so let's go back to our directions. All right, so that's number 2. Once you have done that, then you are going to start trying to find answers to some of your questions. That can either be looking through books in our biography section or going into the databases like World Book or Britannica or Publigo or Mayan, and you're trying to find answers to the questions, even the ones that you have brainstormed in question 6. We are not going to Google to type in questions. We are using a database or a book to help find information because that's where we know we're going to find accurate information. Just a reminder, if you don't remember how to get to the databases, you can always go to the FCPS library catalog. Let's pull this up over here. Okay, if I just type in FCPS library catalog, remember that right here is where we can get to our online databases, and that's where you can go in and you can find Publigo or Mayan or Britannica or World Book or any of those databases that you're looking for. Okay, so if I wanted to go to World Book, I just hit search. Looks like it's taking a long time to load, so hopefully I'll go on to something else and hopefully it'll eventually end up loading for me. Okay, it's just being really slow for the minute. And then you start looking for answers. So look at number 4 for a second. Anytime you find a source, an article, or a book that you use to find information, you have to make sure that you have a citation. Okay, there's a spot in your graphic organizer under question 6 where it says citations. That's where you have to put it. If you use something from the databases, the citation will already be there for you, and all you'll have to do is copy and paste it in. If you find something from a book, then you'll need to go to World Book Student and go to that citation builder to build your thing. So let me see if, try again. Okay, so let's say I go to World Book Student to look for an article. Remember, I've got to scroll down, go to resource. Remember, if this happens to you, it's Fairfax, Fairfax, no capital letters. Okay, if I have to make a citation for anything like a book, then I have to go to right here where it says Citation Builder. I click on it, and I fill out all of the information you can. Okay, anything that you can find, and you can get Miss Austin to help you with that. But if I'm just searching for an article, say I want to look for George Washington. Okay, I'm going to click on the first encyclopedia article I see. All right, now let's say I end up using this, because one of the first things it tells me right here is the year he was born and the year he died, and I need that for one of my questions, okay? And maybe I start talking about how he was a positive person. Maybe I can take something from here. If I end up using any of this information, I need to make sure I have my citation. Again, if you're using a database, it'll already have it for you. So if I go to Tools, and then I go to Citations, it's right there. So I can copy my citation. Okay, I can hit Control-C, and then I can go into my graphic organizer, and right here where it says Citations, I can hit Control-V and paste it in. And remember, if I don't have that, if I'm using a book, then I go to World Book Student and I go to my Citation Builder. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. This is the order that we're doing it right here. Brainstorming those questions first, making sure we get checked off, then going and using databases or books to start answering some of my questions. Okay, not using Google, and then making sure I have a citation for every source that I have used or something I've found information. We should not be getting to number 5 today because of the fact that we've missed some days, but make sure today in class that you were working on 2, 3, or 4. The other reminder I just want to have for you is make sure when it's time to go, you are logging out of your Google Drive or Google Classroom. We don't want anyone else to have access to your stuff. Okay, and then maybe have a few volunteers at the end who know how to put laptops away correctly. Okay, other than that, it's time to get to work. Make sure you grab what you need to grab, but we are doing our brainstorm questions first under number 6 before we're moving on to anything else. All right, guys, ask Miss Austin if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.